this. This is going to get really distracting for me. Let's do that. Wow. Okay. I am recording now, yes. No, I just started. Okay, so lots of stuff going on. Hello, Chris. How are you? I don't know that there's I think there is some housekeeping to get out of the way. I can't think of what it is yet because I didn't write it down. But as was made evident by the fact that it was up, or that there was a coming soon screen at all for this stream, is evidence that there is at least a little bit of something going on in the background. So there is that. I honestly have done a lot. I've honestly done a lot of stuff the last few days that is beneficial for season, what is it, 5? I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. So, I have a hair on my microphone. Yeah, things are going to start to look different. I know I didn't get any of the edits done that I was talking about possibly getting to from last week, but the main edit went up, and that's all that I focus on getting up when it comes to off-season stuff. So maybe I'll cut a couple of things, maybe I won't. It just really depends on how much time I have and how motivated I am to do behind-the-scenes stuff. That being said, I'm going to turn this source down a little bit and turn it back on. And I think that is all of the housekeeping to speak of. So we have a lot of stuff going on in news that's kind of actively happening right now. So that's what I was getting all of my ducks in a row for, was the stuff that's just going out into the world as it comes right now, because all of this DC studio stuff is kind of currently breaking. So we're definitely going to be touching on that. We're going to be touching on a little bit of Marvel stuff, like the headline says, all kinds of fun things. And all of that being said, we're switching over now to done news. All right. So, before we get into this, oh boy, that camera is not lined up like I wanted it to. It checked everything but this scene, apparently. That's better. So, since we are doing things a little differently, Mr. Chris, if it sounds weird, aside from the fact that there is actively music being played in stream today, then let me know, because I did set a couple of different things up. Hopefully they won't make a huge issue. And yeah, I think that was just audio doubled up. Anyway, we are going to jump into the news. So first things first, where's my window? Let's get down and dirty. All right, so let's start on a cool one, because I really dug this. This one actually was sent to me from my girlfriend, and I was super excited about it. So CCXP is happening. That is the Brazil Comic-Con, effectively. And Blue Beetle was there. All we got was this poster for the movie, but I'm super excited about it. That looks great. I just needed to start off on a good note. I'm super excited about that. What's different about Blue Beetle? I don't think we're going to read the actual article. I just wanted to share the image because that's pretty cool. I'm super excited about the Blue Beetle movie. And we're starting... Oh boy. Let's go with The Flash first, shall we? We have new trailers to talk about. Oops, that's not The Flash. That's the Flash. All right. So, with all the crazy happening, remember CCXP, Brazil Comic Con, it happened, and this is the first thing that kind of was at the front of the firestorm. So, the official display and merchandise for the Flash movie sports comments from director Andy Muschietti that have never been released. We get Supergirl and Superman spoilers from the Flash movie to come out of the Brazil CCXP convention that took place last weekend. A promo leaked last year around the same time, DC Fandom, featuring comments from Ezra Miller and director Andy Muschietti. Miller says in the video, the Flash is unique amongst the Justice League. He's the first quantum superhero because he follows how pitch, speed, and velocity determine the makeup of reality. What I love about the Flash is that theoretically it's just a singular power, which is his speed. That one factor, when pushed to extremes, will become a whole bunch of powers. He can make a tornado, run across water. He travels through time. There's multiple batsmen. There's more than one Batman. This is the most hyped, beastly DC movie ever, and it's going to blow people's heads off. More importantly, is what Muschietti teases, and worth a mention, is that Warner Brothers demanded the footage be taken down, and I don't think it has ever been officially released. Justice League. That is not the powerful Justice League that we all know. Half solar-powered alien and two idiots. I embrace the fact that these underdogs are going to save the world, says Muschietti. Two idiots, a retired vigilante, and a half-charged solar-power alien. Sorry. Continuing on with the piece, fast forward to CCXP convention. The official display from the film features a T-shirt for the Flash, which features the same comments, where the art confirms the details as it says: two idiot kids, a retired vigilante, and a half-charged solar-powered alien. Two idiot kids are the two versions of Barry Allen, played by Ezra Miller. Michael Keaton, Batman, is obviously the vigilante, and the half-charged solar-powered alien is Sasha Calle, Supergirl. In the Flash, Supergirl will be the half-powered, where Redditors also add there is leaked concept art floating around that shows Supergirl in some form of power-dampening cell where she has been detained by the government. Are we going to see that? No. Supergirl rumors in the Flash. According to rumors, test screening Supergirl's story is supposed to play out similarly to Henry Cavill's Superman in Man of Steel. The official production documents have also confirmed both Michael Shannon and Antje Trau are back, though to be thought to be playing their respective characters from Man of Steel as Zod and Fora. Rumors have offered that in the Supergirl's universe, Zod kills baby Kal-El, where Sasha Calle goes to Earth and becomes the world's Superman. However, it's now thought that what actually happens is its take on the DC Comics Flashpoint comic, where in that alternate timeline, Superman has been a prisoner of the government since his birth and is kept away from the sun, so he doesn't have his full powers. Eventually, Superman escapes and kicks all kinds' butt. Yes, agreed with the author of this piece. It is definitely a cool story. So in the Flash movie, one theory is that it's thought Zod and Fora come to Earth, where Supergirl has been prisoner since birth, but is freed possibly by Barry once Zod and Fora arrive. Blah, blah, blah. We're getting a little deeper than I wanted to go, but yeah, whatever. We'll continue. Not sure that makes too much sense, as why wouldn't Supergirl join forces with Zod as she's been a prisoner since birth, blah, blah, blah. More in line with Man of Steel, that's right. Superman rumors for the Flash. Rumors and test screenings also offer Flash will be shown saving people during Man of Steel to fix the movie, as many fans have complained about all the violence. Henry Cavill is also rumored for the flick, which might be a late addition to the movie, so things may have changed, as originally it was rumored that Sasha Calle Supergirl was supposed to replace Henry Cavill's Superman, as when the multiverses merge, Supergirl is the new, quote, Superman. Warner Brothers Discovery and David Zaslav taking over things. Supergirl replacing Superman is likely out the door, along with Batgirl. It's reported planned Supergirl movie has been scrapped. Test screenings also revealed the film has been well received. So that was, again, this past weekend. And then we come to here. This was from yesterday, I believe. No, 2 days. Almost. This was last weekend as well. So we have Aquaman 2 said to have major reshoots. Claimed that Aquaman 2 underwent major reshoots, which follows the earlier news that Ben Affleck was brought back to play Batman, replacing Michael Keaton. So there have been so many rumors. I'm going to step aside from this one real quick. There have been so many rumors associated with who's going to be which Batman and blah, 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 that you can't definitively say that Affleck is going to be replacing Michael Keaton. There have been more rumors, and I feel like more substantiated rumors, saying that both Affleck and Keaton are going to be playing a version of Batman. So, yeah, I don't think that is accurate. Continuing on, rumor hit the net offering the reshoots were only minor, but Casey Walsh via Twitter responded and said that the reshoots are actually major. Reshoots happen. I don't know why everybody is freaking out. Reshoots happen all the time. Quote, AQ stuff is false. Reshoots were major and lasted over a month. I don't know if that necessarily quantifies major, but whatever. I feel like 6 months of reshoots would be major. That's like Justice League levels of reshoots. Interestingly enough, it has been reported the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, isn't happy with the movie. Other than Ben Affleck back as Batman, it's not known what the reshoots involved, but a couple things come to mind. Update. With the news that Wonder Woman 3 is dead, come claims Ben Affleck Batman has been cut from Aquaman 2, that Jason Momoa will be done with the character and will play Lobo for James Gunn. Ben Affleck reshoots about... Yeah, I think that's as much as we really need to get into because of the update. So, continuing on into the next piece... Oh, and as a side note, the release date got moved up to June 16th instead of June 23rd, but, you know, whatever, that's not really major. This is all part of the debacle that's going on right now. So we have, as of 2 days ago, Black Adam profitable, saved by home entertainment. Because this is going to factor into the rumored reboot that is coming. Though the Black Adam box office might not be particularly electrifying, it's learned the flick will still end up in the black and be profitable thanks to home entertainment sales. In a rather one-sided report by Variety, who reports on the Black Adam theatrical release potentially losing millions of dollars, reps for Warner Brothers dispute various projections. The article writes how in order to break even that Black Adam needs to make $600 million, then says $450 million, but Warner Brothers tells the site that the break-even number was actually only $400 million, which is what Johnson is saying. That's what Dwayne The Rock is saying. Current worldwide box office is $384 million, so Black Adam is just shy of that number. As The Rock has pointed out, Black Adam is the #1 movie on iTunes, and it remains so, and reps for Warner Brothers Phil and Variety that the flick is overperforming in the home entertainment market. So this is very interesting. Update: producer on the movie confirms it will be profitable and claims it will lose claims that it will lose money are false. So that is significant because then we get into where did it go? Where did it go? That's just repeating what they just said. Here we go. #1 right now. Henry Cavill out. Ben Affleck cut. Aquaman recast. Black Adam axed. Offer James Gunn DC reboot rumors. So this is the big thing that's happening literally right now. Big news that Wonder Woman 3 is dead. So the actual report says that Wonder Woman 3 is let's pull up the... Where did it go? Where did it go? I was just scrolling past it. not moving forward is as it stands right now. It is not moving forward according to the trades. So it's still technically rumor, but it is rumor from the trades, which means it's pretty likely. So yeah, it's not moving forward, and Patty Jenkins has other things going on, so on and so forth. So that is the current status of it. Does that mean that it will be officially canceled in the future? Yeah, probably. If these rumors are to be believed. Continuing on. So the big news that Wonder Woman 3 is dead come rumors that James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to reboot the DC universe, which involves the ouster of Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and more. DC insiders at 2019 San Diego Comic-Con actually told, again, the guy who runs Matt McClellan, told me that Gunn was part of a DCE reboot at the time, also involving Abrams and Matt Reeves. So maybe Gunn has had his targets on becoming the head of DC for quite a while. What is exactly going on with the new DCU is unknown, as Gunn has said only he and Safran know the plans, but recent reports offer potential clues as to the direction, which sounds like a DC reboot following the release of The Flash. So reboot. I very well could have been wrong last week. I was misreading the cues because this is coming from many multiple sources, not the least of which Variety, I think, is even mixed in here, which is one of the trades. The three big trades, you have Variety, Hollywood Reporter, and Deadline. And I think only right now Variety is talking about it, but I could very well be wrong. So continuing on here on Cosmic Book, in THR's report about the Hollywood Reporter, report about Wonder Woman 3 not moving forward as Patty Jenkins' script has been rejected, claims in the article match up with recent rumors with THR offering Gunn and Safran want to move away from the Zack Snyder Justice League actors, which includes Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and Ezra Miller as The Flash. Worth a mention is that while there have been all kinds of claims and rumors leading up to this point, that all changes now that Gunn and Safran are in charge. So the short of that is Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. Ben Affleck is cut from Aquaman 2 and done officially as Batman. Jason Momoa done playing Aquaman, now potentially playing Lobo. Again, that is very much rumored as well. Henry Cavill potentially cut from The Flash, not playing Superman. The Rock, Black Adam sequels and spin-offs very possibly canceled. Plans for the Snyderverse characters and Justice League 2 axed. Gunn and Safran rebooting the DCU. Wonder Woman 3 is dead. Gal Gadot's future in question. If you're wanting to believe the rumors, then it only makes sense that they would be getting rid of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman because they're going to put somebody else in that role because it's going to be a reboot. So regarding Wonder Woman 3 and Gal Gadot, THR reports to Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward and is considered dead in its current incarnation. Site also mentions that by not moving forward with Wonder Woman 3, millions of dollars are being saved as Gal Gadot was set to receive $20 million and Patty Jenkins $12 million. Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't well received at all. No kidding. So that is probably a factor in the decision to move forward with Jenkins' script and vision. Ben Affleck recently saw Jason Momoa and Ben Affleck confirm that Affleck joined Aquaman 2 as Batman, thought to be replacing the Michael Keaton scenes. However, now a recent test screening offers that Ben Affleck Batman has been cut from the movie. That's rather early to be doing test screenings, so I don't know about that. Twitter user Casey Walsh tweeted, I have bad news for YouTube grifters who has their hearts, wow, grammar is a beautiful thing, set on Affleck and Aquaman 2. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say they cut a major scene and it appears the Bruce Wayne scene is no longer necessary. Heard is unchanged. No Affleck, no Defoe. Weird. So if the rumor is right, Affleck looks to be done as Batman, and worth mention is that THR says Gunn is not touching the Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves Batman that is moving forward with a sequel and spin-offs. Aquaman recast as Jason Momoa now plays Lobo. In regards to Aquaman and Jason Momoa, recently Momoa teased that he landed a dream project, which is thought to be Lobo. According to THR, a scenario considered that is that Jason Momoa would wrap up playing the character in Aquaman 2 next year, and then in Gunn and Safran's new DCU, Momoa would play Lobo, as Lobo is in line with Gunn's specialty of taking offbeat and quirky and flipping it into crowd-pleasing fare. I don't know if Lobo is necessarily quirky, but okay. It's also been said that Aquaman 2 has undergone major reshoots. Again, repeating that phrase, major reshoots. Let's define major at some point, shall we? So those reshoots could very well deal with ending Momoa and Aquaman, and deleting the Affleck Batman scenes. Flash likely recast due to Ezra Miller. Yes, we know this. Henry Cavill done as Superman. According to THR, while Henry Cavill did shoot a cameo for The Flash, again, the cameo is now being debated and it may be cut. As why keep the cameo if Henry Cavill won't be Superman? It is said Henry Cavill has said he's back as Superman and that Man of Steel is being developed, and Andy Muschietti even with Andy Muschietti even interested in a tone similar to the Richard Donner movies at the time. That was correct. But that is all changed now thanks to Gunn and Safran. So it looks like there were contracts involved, like I said last week. But now apparently they have talked WB into very potentially buying out all of these contracts, which is very, very potentially super expensive. So that's very interesting going forward. Recall that DC insiders filming and Henry Cavill has been holding out on a Superman return for money, and that Johnson and his production team wanted to take over the DC Films universe. Well, Johnson didn't. Gunn is now in charge, and both Johnson and Cavill could be out the door. Very interesting. This is all happening right now, very literally. My Twitter is going nuts with all of this. So I don't know, just kind of a moment of a moment to kind of analyze this. So this is not happening at CCXP. We can even take a look. See, this is my rumor sources, some of my rumor sources anyway. Yeah, even Grace Randolph is saying this. So, I mean, she's not the greatest leaker necessarily, but she has a better track record than most. And she's on this. Although her source very well could be the same source as THR and stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe her source is THR. You never know. Either way, this is very potentially... We do know that Wonder Woman 3 is not happening anytime soon, and very possibly Patty Jenkins is going to be out. If nothing else, Patty Jenkins will not be moving forward with the franchise, though I would be very surprised if this is legit, if Gal Gadot is moving forward as well. But the big question mark is... Did Warner Brothers give Gunn and Safran, or Warner Brothers Discovery, I guess is technically the company now, did they give Gunn and Safran the ability to buy out these actors from the remainder of their contracts? It is presumed that at the very least, The Rock and Jason Momoa had at least a couple of movies left on their contracts. Very potentially one for Jason Momoa, one full movie, and then probably a cameo of some sort, or two. And then The Rock very probably had a series of movies in his contract. And the less likely, but still possible extension of that is Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck's contracts. Ben Affleck probably not on board for many movies. He's probably on for maybe a couple cameos. That's probably about it. But Cavill was very gung-ho about this new deal and being Superman, so they probably, if this is the way they're going, if this is legit, and somewhere else, and I'm not going to take the time to find it, but one of the other rumor mongers was talking about James Gunn making official announcements as far as this stuff as early as next week. So it will be very soon that we find out the actual details of what's going on. But Henry Cavill being excited about going forward as Superman means he had a contract. Well, presumably he had a contract. Maybe he hadn't signed, or maybe Warner Brothers hadn't signed or something because of the turmoil as far as the production staff and James Gunn and Peter Safran taking over and all that. But there was some form of contract somewhere. Otherwise, because he's not one to just go to the social medias and say, this is a thing that I want to happen. He is not super active on social media when it comes to that kind of stuff at all. So the fact that he did that means that there was something, it was a physical thing that he has gone over and very likely had signed, saying that he was going to do a number of movies. What that number is, nobody knows. But that means that Warner Brothers had to buy out these four right here that you're seeing on screen, these 4 actors out of a giant contract. Again, Affleck's probably not that big. Momoa's, the remainder, probably not that big. But presumably Cavill and The Rock, really big contracts, really expensive situation to buy these guys out of their So that means that Zaslav was really not happy with a number of things as far as the DC Universe movies are going, which, I don't know, I feel like there is a fair argument to be made that they were not headed in a great direction. There was room to course correct, but maybe maybe they've weighed the options and they said, our best option going forward is to just start from nothing and build up in a better way, because Marvel is starting to falter, so we can take that opportunity that they're opening up for us and do our own thing. So if that's the case, I think they're not wrong. As weird as that might be, I think that there is a strong possibility that they made the proper decision. So that's kind of where I stand with that. Let's move on to the Marvel stuff. Where did that go? Right here. Here's one of them. So Brie Larson in the Marvels is going to be married. Her Captain Marvel character is going to be married. So this is, I don't know, this is an interesting take, and we'll read through the article and then we'll take a look at everything else. But big rumor claims that Brie Larson's Carol Danvers is married in the Marvels, and that is actually to a man. Oh, that's controversial in modern Hollywood. According to scooper Daniel RPK, Brie Larson's Carol Danvers will be married to South Korean actor Park Seo-joon, who is known for Parasite. Oh, that's cool. The rumor has it that Park Seo-joon is playing Carol Danvers' husband, Prince Yen, a leader of a musical planet where everyone communicates on the planet by singing songs. That's some deep cuts. It's previously been rumored that the Marvels will have some sort of singing scene. Interesting. So assuming this rumor is true, singing scene is about Brie Larson's Carol Danvers and Park Seo-joon, Prince Yen, and musical planet singing inhabitants. The particulars surrounding the husband of Carol Danvers aren't known, but the news that Brie Larson is married in the flick seems rather odd, as the first movie is so anti-male. This is true. But maybe that is why they're marrying Danvers off. Possibilities I can think of the marriage isn't real, that it could be a marriage of convenience, as maybe Carol Danvers is forced to marry Prince Yen for some reason. Maybe Yen is even an alien hermaphrodite. Yeah, that seems like some twist that they would do. Can Brie Larson sing? I don't care. Yeah, what is the Marvels about? We already kind of know that. So, interesting. Is that going to be enough to save her image? Yeah, probably not. With the news media cycle that ran when Captain Marvel came out, I don't think there's a whole lot that they can do that's going to save her situation. So let's move on. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. to finish at $800 million worldwide, which expected huge bust. I don't think that's not an accurate statement. 800 million worldwide. What does it take to make 500 million? So they're going to cut even just about. Estimates are now offering the Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I can speak, I promise. Box office will finish much lower than anyone expected, looking around somewhere in the 800 millions. Deadline offers the news in its latest box office update, where it is noted the offshore drop on Wakanda Forever was 39% as it heads to a finish in the 800 millions worldwide. That means the Black Panther Wakanda Forever box office won't even match up to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which finished close to $1 billion at the box office with $955 million worldwide. Of course, that also means the sequel won't come anywhere close to the first movie, which finished over $1.3 billion. So, and then we're just going to get into speculation as to what happened. So yeah, this is more evidence that Marvel is starting to falter. And then there was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, something about the trailer, right? Oh, this is the rumor. This is about the movie itself. So, following the release of the Following the release of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, it's claimed that the flick will feature multiple deaths. So, very possible, spoiler alert, if you care. It's conjecture, so it's not really spoilers, but here you go. New trailer seems to hint at least that it is going to happen, as various scenes feature reactions from the characters which come off as pretty horrific. It's also known this is James Gunn's last movie with Marvel, as he takes on Feige with the new DC universe. Got ahead of myself. And it's the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie featuring this iteration of the team. So, knowing how James Gunn works, it's safe to say Gunn is going out with a bang. Will Adam Warlock join the Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, Will Poulter's a young kid, so I guess I could see that a little bit. Fans are also already discussing how they think Will Poulter's Adam Warlock will replace Chris Pratt's Peter Quill as the leader of the team in the new movies, which is probably safe to assume will happen. I don't know. Aren't they making him the villain in this? Worth a mention, and Marvel really likes to kill their villains, so I don't see that being necessarily a thing, but worth a mention is that while some fans are also complaining and questioning why bring in Adam Warlock in the MCU now that as Thanos is dead, Adam Warlock was a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy team in 2008 from Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, that Gunn's stuff is loosely based on. The new costumes are straight from the comics. So Adam Warlock can still fit into things. Fair enough. All right, Guardians of the Galaxy rumors. Regarding the rumors, the info comes from Grace Randolph in her Guardians of the Galaxy trailer breakdown, where she starts off by stating she heard that not only might the film feature multiple deaths, but that multiple deaths were filmed in an attempt to keep things secret. So, for example, if it leaks that Rocket Raccoon bites the dust or Gamora meets her maker, that might not actually make its way into the movie, etc. Kind of like they did with the Scream movies back in the day. Marvel has been having a tough time of it lately, and it seems like this is the kind of movie that would kick off summer movie season, which is exactly what it's going to do, says Randolph. She continues, for its third entry, the last for James Gunn, and the last for this lineup of this team, it's going to kick off the summer movie season as well. That's right, multiple characters I hear are going to die, according to Randolph. You can tell from this trailer it's pretty sad, although I have some theories as to what might happen to Rocket. He might not necessarily die. Randolph adds, speaking of what's going to happen, I heard that they filmed multiple deaths, and then reiterating what was said a moment ago. Gamora and Adam Warlock rumors. Kind of boring. But yeah, so there you go. Potentially multiple characters dying in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. Daredevil's Born Again rating in doubt. Where was there's a Deadpool bit. Where'd the Deadpool bit go? Oh, hell. What the hell? Let's go here. All right. So, according to other rumors for Disney Plus this time, bad news, MCU fans. It's be careful what you wish for, as it's claimed that Marvel's Daredevil Born Again series may not have a mature rating when it's released on Disney Plus. Disney just saw a big regime change that has been celebrated with the return of Bob Iger as CEO, who replaces Bob Chapek. But Iger is a temporary replacement. They're looking for somebody else. He'll be out in 2 years. So keep that in mind as we continue through this article. According to YouTuber Grace Randolph, now that Bob Iger is back, that might mean the mature rating for Daredevil Born Again is out the window. Here's something she tweeted. Bob Chapek was cool with the mature-rated Daredevil Born Again. Bob Iger, not so much. They're still deciding. We'll see what happens. Yeah, no, that's not at all. Was it? I think I might have found what I'm thinking of. Oops. Here. Check chat for a moment. Nope, nothing. We're good. Daredevil. Come on, meow. I know it was here somewhere. Oh, and we have a couple of deaths to speak of as well. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So, according to Bounding Into Comics, Daredevil Born Again star Charlie Cox says series tone could allow for the man without fear to cameo in Deadpool 3, which is kind of what I was hoping they were gearing up for anyway. So, as if the entirety of his twin cameos in She-Hulk Attorney at Law weren't enough to raise suspicions that his Disney Plus series would share nothing more with the original Netflix series than its lead actors, Charlie Cox has suggested the tone of upcoming Daredevil Born Again naturally allow for its title hero to make a brief stopover in Deadpool 3. Marvel Cinematic Universe's resident man without fear actor shared his thoughts on a potential meetup. The two crimson-clad heroes, barring any plans by Daredevil to keep rocking the awkward live-action adaptation with his original suit he wore in She-Hulk during a recent panel appearance the past weekend at Dortmund-hosted German Comic-Con. Charlie with the scoop. It would be really cool. Where's the beginning of the quote? Appearing on stage alongside Foggy Nelson actor Eldon Henson, Cox opined to the crowd that because of the tone of our show, I think there's a place for Daredevil to show up in Deadpool 3. Oh, so that's not... I totally was... I should pre-read the articles. I know, whatever. It would be really cool, he added before promptly joking in follow-up, oh great, now that's a news story. Yeah, I agree. That was pretty lackluster. Given the confirmed R rating given to Deadpool 3, some fans have taken Cox's tease to suggest that Daredevil Born Again will be so heavy, consequential, and gritty as to be given a similar letter grade from the MPAA. As such, any potential crossover would entail a somewhat serious and dramatic interaction. I don't think Deadpool 3 is going to be serious or dramatic. That's silly. Yeah, all right. Back to this. There was at least one more on here that I wanted to touch on. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Haven't watched it yet. Haven't heard good things, though. Black Panther, The Last of Us trailer releases at CCXP. Gen V trailer. So this is the university, the college kids spinoff from The Boys. Go watch that one for sure. Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel gets a new director. That was, I think, the other one I wanted to talk about while we are here. So, sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife gets a new director with Gil Kenan, who replaces Jason Reitman. Kenan was a writer and executive producer on Afterlife, and Reitman will still be involved in the sequel as part of its writing team and will also produce, but is no longer directing, which is potentially a good thing. No, I take that back. I appreciated Reitman's the Afterlife movie, so mixed, I guess. It's also reported the cast will be back, including Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, and McKenna Grace. Awesome. That's really cool. I'm super excited about that. It's an absolute honor to pick up the Proton Pack and step behind the camera for the next chapter of the Spangler family saga, said Keenan in a statement. I just wish I could go back to 1984 and tell the kid in the 6th row of the Man Valley West that one day he was going to get to direct a Ghostbusters film. That's pretty cool. Reitman also said in a statement a few years ago, my father handed me the keys to Ecto 1, and together we made Ghostbusters Afterlife. Words will never express how grateful I am to have made that film with my father by my side. It's now time to hand those keys to my creative partner and fellow Ghostbuster, Gil Keenan, a brilliant director who will keep the Spangler spirit alive. I can only hope to provide him the same productorial care and support that my father showed me. That's really cool. I can dig it. What's it about? Yeah, it's still too early for us to make those kind of guesstimations. So, and then we have a casting piece. Let's get into this casting piece. Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham. New animated movie. Looks like we're getting a new animated universe with this art style. That's the only picture we have so far, so I could be reading into things. But let's see what the story has to say. Let's see who this new cast is. Warner Brothers Animation DC and Warner Brothers Home Entertainment have announced the voice cast for Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham animated movie. Oh, and this was... Oh, God, I can't remember who wrote the book. Anyway, David Giantoli, known for A Million Little Things, is providing the voice of Batman, and Giantoli also happens to be a husband of Superman. Oh, Giantoli was also the lead for Grimm. That's why his name sounds familiar. I almost got to interview him, but I didn't. I did get to interview his wife, Elizabeth Tulloch, though, for Grimm, for the end of Grimm. The additional voice cast includes Tati Gabrielle as Kai Lynn Kane, Christopher Gorham as Oliver Queen, John DiMaggio, my man, as James Gordon, Patrick Fabian as Harvey Dent, Brian George as Alfred, and Jason Marsden, oh, that's cool, as Dick Grayson and the young Bruce Wayne, Karen Brar as Sanjay J. Todd, David Duskmalian, which is... He is everywhere these days as Grendon. David Duskmalian was Polka Dot Man and was also the crazy guy in Batman or Dark Knight. Naveed Nigabam as Ra's al Ghul, Emily O'Brien as Talia al Ghul and Martha Wayne, Tim Russ as Lucius Fox, Matthew Watterson as Jason Blood Etrigan, Jeffrey Combs as Kirk Langstrom, William Slayers as Oswald Cobblepot, I would imagine, Gideon Adlon as Oracle, and Darren DePaul as Thomas Wayne. Ooh. Sam Lewis producing, Christopher Berkeley also co-directing. The script will be Jason Ritchie. Mike Mignola, that's who wrote the original book. That's right. Mike Mignola writes good stuff. I really dig Mignola. See, this is his art style right here too. So that's cool. And it's very Cthulhu-y, apparently, with the tentacles back there. I would imagine that is an implication of what the Doom may be. That's pretty awesome. I dig that. I like that casting. We are going to see how Giantoli does. I honestly think that might be a really cool choice for Batman. Considering the work that he did on Grimm, I think that there's a possibility for David Giantoli as Batman going forward now that we have lost our one true Batman. So that's pretty cool. I can dig that for sure. I think that is everything that we were going over. Oh, Star Wars Bad Batch Season 2 trailer. Go check it out. What are the other... And we're not going to touch Jennifer Lawrence because blah, stupid. Let's see. Was there anything else on Bounding into Comics that was worth reading? Doobity-doobity-doobity-doo. I don't think there was. I think we're good. I think we're going to switch over to Musica. Oh, that's right. We have to touch on the passings. We have 2 passings since last week. The first of, or the most recent, we're going to go in reverse order. Most recent was Kirstie Alley, star of Star Trek 2. I don't know if she was the star of Star Trek 2. She was one of the stars in Cheers, yes. Passed at 71. News came as a shock due to her cancer diagnosis, which reportedly was recently discovered. So that's pretty nuts. Kirstie Alley, also in Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking 2. I don't know if you remember that. She was in The Wrath of Khan. And there we go. Look Who's Talking right there. Jenny Craig forever. All right. So the other passing, which we must talk about at least briefly, see if it's in here if we have to go searching for it, because I can't remember the guy's name. I can just remember the fact that he was in Choke and Orange is the New Black and was actually a pretty good writer or actor, sorry, reading things and trying to think at the same time. Oh boy, I gotta go back even further. They might not have covered it on Bounding. That's unfortunate. Yeah, looks like they didn't. All right, so we shall go to Variety. Go to film. Would it be film? I bet we'll find it under TV, actually. And news. Go back a week. Oh, Lord, this is going to take a second because Variety has entirely too much fluff. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Goose. Sorry for the noise. Give me a moment. Goose, no. You're fine, buddy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Lo siento. He gets really barky sometimes, and if you don't quiet him, he'll just keep going. So my apologies. All right, so we're still looking for the passing. Blah, 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 blah. Back further than that. Oh, good night. Come on now. We're going to do this a faster way, methinks. Let's go to Wiki. Cast. Was that him? There we go. Brad William Hankey. That was his name. So let's put that into the search here. Post. Enter. There we go. Former pro football player as well. So this guy, Orange is the New Black. Like I said, Choke was the thing that I remember seeing him in first. What passed at 56, died on Tuesday, according to reps. No cause has been revealed. Hankey appeared in Netflix Orange is the New Black as Piscatella. Seasons 4 and oh, that's right, he died in season 5. That's why I couldn't find him in season 6. Lead role in Going to California. Also ran for 1 season. Had reoccurring role in Justified, Lost, October Road, Nikki and Dexter. Played college football at University of Arizona. He was team captain. In 1990, he played defensive line for the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 24 against the 49ers. Sustaining injuries that forced him to retire from professional football in 94, he began career acting. He was in Chicago Hope, Silk Stockings, ER, Michael Hayes, Arliss, Pretender. I might have actually saw him in The Pretender, too. I loved that show. Later guest in Law & Order, Life on Mars, Trust Me, Part Her Down. Lots of procedurals, it would seem. But dude was actually not... I really, really liked him, not only as Piscatella in Orange is the New Black. I dug him in that, but I really dug his portrayal of... I can't think of the character's name now, in Choke. The main friend, Denny. Just was... really good. So, yeah, sucks. It's unfortunate. That is the way of things, though. I just wish... let's see if we can... Let's go back to Wiki and see if it has an update on his passing. Early life and education, personal life and death. Hankey died in his sleep. The age of 56, an Instagram post dated May 15, 2021, he stated that he had 90% blockage of one of his arteries. There you go. Another post dated June 29, 2021, he stated he had 2 stents put in his heart, as well as his spleen and half of his pancreas removed to treat a golf ball-sized tumor. So it could have been the heart issue. It could have been... tumor just was malignant and had been there for way too long, or it was in other parts of his body that they didn't catch. Wow, look at his filmography. That's great. He was in Space Jam. The original Space Jam, no less. That is a lot of stuff. Again, mostly procedural stuff, it looks like. Oh, this is all movies, though. Where's the TV? Right there, TV, procedurals. Chicago Hope, Silk Stockings, Nash Bridge. Ooh, recurring role on Nash Bridges. Arliss, Michael Hayes, ER, Pretender. Single episode, 20 episodes, Going to California, huh? 2 episodes, 4 episodes, 19 episodes, October Road. Huh. Unfortunate, man. That sucks. All right. Let's move on to less sad things, shall we? I can spell. Thank you, Mr. Christopher, for stopping by. I appreciate you. I realize that I start these things a little late for you, so is what it is. Let's go over to music stuff, and then we will call it a stream. I think I wanted to go here first. Oh, Lord. Again, Nirvana Nevermind cover art lawsuit is back again. Yay. Spencer Eldon back at it. So, Spencer Eldon, the former baby swimming on the cover of Nirvana's classic 1991 Nevermind album, filed a lawsuit against Nirvana and entities associated with the band back in August 21, claiming that the iconic cover image is child pornography. After some legal back and forth, the lawsuit was dismissed by U.S. Judge Fernando Ogluin, who said that Eldon waited too long to make his claim. Ogluin's ruling was thought to be final ruling, but nope, Eldon is back. According to a report by Spin Magazine, Eldon has filed an appeal with California's Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, claiming that Ogluin's ruling made an error. Eldon's appeal states that a statute of limitations does not apply because his suffering is ongoing. Oh my God, how are you suffering, dude? And cites Masha's law, which allows child pornography victims to seek damages well into their adulthood. Good Lord, this is so dumb. Aware that appellees are commercially exploiting... Nirvana's camp previously called Eldon's lawsuit not serious, claiming that Eldon has spent 3 decades profiting from his celebrity as the self-anointed Nirvana baby, and asserted that his lawsuit will fail on the merits. The parties also make the argument the photo of a naked baby is not the CP. Grohl also reacted to the lawsuit at the time, not really saying much outside. Listen, Eldon's got a Nevermind tattoo. I don't. There is that. So, goodness, that's so dumb. Latest videos. We won't touch on that. Polypheus Tim Henson got good at guitar while being grounded for smoking weed as a kid. Yeah, sure. You can see that. Ready for Death. Jonathan Holton. Ghosts. Tobias Forge would like to do death metal again at some point. Interesting. Of Sulfur. Summons Black and Deathcore. Those guys. Death of Circumstance. That is... I don't know if I've heard that one. Have I? Maybe I have. I don't know. The whatever single that was played on Liquid Metal a few weeks back. Maybe that isn't it because it just came out. So yeah, Of Sulfur is a band worth checking out. If you like the aggressive stuff, go listen to them. So let's talk about this Ghost thing, shall we? Ghost Tobias Forge would like to do death metal again at some point. Didn't realize he did death metal. Before Ghost, vocalist Tobias Forge was fronting Swedish death metal band Repugnant. So, would he ever go back to that style of music? In an interview with Loudwire, Forge reveals that the short answer to that question isn't exactly no. Forge said he'd love to revisit death metal at some point, considering he's still a huge fan. Clarifies he's not sure how he'd go about doing so, because right now he makes mediocre throwback metal. Quote, I love that stuff. I listen to it a lot. I'm still obsessing over it from a collecting point of view. It's very much where my adolescent heart is. I grew up with a lot of music, but my adolescence was completely immersed and completely swamped with that impression. I still get the same kick out of things that I liked as not even a teenager, bless you, as an 11, 12-year-old, when I really started listening to that, and when death metal was really dangerous animal that you can just go out and store and for blah, 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 blah. So, Forge later added he recognizes there was a time and place in his young life for being in a death metal band, but still it could be worth a shot to try and tackle once again. Interesting. Bless the Fall, don't care. Oh, here we go. G.G. Allen biopic in the works. Oh, Lord. Okay, so new biopic based on the life of shock punk entertainer G.G. Allen is in the works and being helmed by director Jonas Åkerlund, who recently chronicled the Norwegian black metal scene in his film Lords of Chaos. If you haven't seen Lords of Chaos, it is interesting. It's worth a watch. There's some liberties taken from what I can remember and what we looked up as research once we watched the movie, but still pretty cool, pretty close to accurate to the source material, so that's pretty awesome. Producers to the film, Angry Films and MVD Entertainment Group, have acquired Allen's life and music rights and have a script written by Richard Shankman, according to Hollywood Reporter. There's no word yet, however, on casting. G.G. Allen. Somebody's going to make a movie from the life of that poor, pathetic man. That's weird. That is super weird. Who was it? Punk Rock MBA. Finn McKenty did a whole video on G.G. Allen and who he was and why he was influential, even if his music was not very good. So that's definitely worth a watch. If you don't know who G.G. Allen is, then be warned. It's definitely NSFW. Just his entire life from childhood on is frightening. We'll put it that way. Not a very happy life that man had. Dirge slows things down. New single. Son of Iron Maiden and Radiohead members deliver chill new track, Red Skies. Don't care. Charlie Benante on Pantera haters. If you don't want to come, you don't have to come. Yeah, I mean, there is that. Though, apparently, they're doing pretty awesome. Benante and... not Dimebag. Good Lord. Benante and Zach Wilde. Goodness, I can't remember words. Benante and Zach Wilde are doing pretty good according to what people are saying that have seen the shows. Everyone who's being a naysayer apparently has not seen them perform because it seems to be pretty universally welcomed. So there you go. Reviews, Conjureth, Ola England, Steel Panther has a new single, Bad Omens. Oh, here we go. Let's talk some business stuff. Bad Omens will get us into this. There's music business to be spoken of. So, the article goes on. Unfortunately, for every touring band, at least in the United States, venues generally take somewhere around 20% of what a band makes in merch sales. So when you're buying the limited tour vinyl and special t-shirt, the venue is making a few bucks, and Bad Omens isn't too pleased. Not only is that the case, not only do the venues take a cut, but also if they are signed to a label, odds are the label is also taking probably around 30%. So off the bat, that's why everything is so expensive, is because only 50% of that is even going to the band and the crew. And then the band has to pay the crew that's also selling it. So that's why tour merchandise is so much more expensive than this stuff you can get off their website or stuff you find in like Hot Topic or any other place that carries band merch, is because they have to pay. There's a lot of people with their hands in the pie, or fingers in the pie or whatever, however the saying goes. Continuing on, it all started when a fan tweeted at Bad Omens about a drink named after their song Nowhere to Go at the venue. Bad Omens retweeted the photo to make a fair about venues taking merch cuts but not offering any percentage of bar sales, especially if they're naming it after a touring band song. That's a legitimate issue. I feel like that might be grounds for Bad Omens to take some sort of legal action. That's very interesting. That's dope. Artists still don't get a cut from the bar sales, even though the venue gives cocktails cute little names after your songs, but still take 15 to 20% of touring artists' gross merch sales every night. Nowhere to Go Punch does sound delicious, though. Tip your bartenders. That's a great attitude, I feel like, to have on the subject, because he's still advocating for good tipping, which, being in the service industry myself, is always a nice thing to see. Bad Omens clarified that they're not interested in getting a cut of the bar profit, but of course would rather see the merch cuts go away, especially considering how financially difficult it is for any band to get on the road these days, as we've learned from Devin Townsend. I don't know specifically what they're referring to about Devin Townsend, but a fair number of artists have made it very clear that touring becomes much more difficult when things like this happen. Just to be clear, we don't want a cut of your bar sales, the article goes on. We just don't want to give you 20% of the merchandise we design, pay for, manage, set up, carry, and and sell ourselves because you gave us 20 square feet of floor space in your venues that we sold out. So I would imagine there's a couple of things kind of lifting the curtain, if you will. Speaking about the inside baseball, let's throw another couple of idioms at you, shall we? So there's a number of things about touring bands. The number of ways bands get onto bills is either the booker for the venue is in contact with the booking agent for the band, and so the booking agent sets up the tour, and then they effectively have a financial agreement that certain things will be split. And apparently, specifically what we're talking about here is merch, but then they're also splitting a certain percentage of door ticket sales. And I mean, when you're a smaller band, the venues that I've played, we did get a cut of the bar depending on who the booking agent was. So sometimes you get a cut of the bar, sometimes you don't. It really depends on the venue and you know how good you have it with those guys. So that's one way. The other way, when you are a bigger band, like if you're Metallica level or Slipknot level, or I would venture to say even somebody like a Taylor Swift, since she was in the news recently, the other way to do that is, and it's far more expensive for the band, but also theoretically far more lucrative for the band, is they rent out the venue. So everyone in the venue is being paid directly by the band and not by the venue. So it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's kind of the nitty gritty. And Bad Omens probably not big enough to rent out the whole venue, so they have to come to a financial agreement with the venue so that on what things are split and whatnot. So very interesting situation going on there. Continuing, Bad Omens is hardly the first band to be irritated by merch cuts. Earlier this year, Australian metalcore act Alpha Wolf vocalist Loki Kogue called out the venue the band was playing at live on stage, calling them dirty effing venues, taking money from bands not making any effing money anyway. Before we go, I want to mention every band on this tour is still has merch over there. We're trying to get the same stuff done. Doesn't matter how much merch you buy, any bit of money you spend helps, especially when these dirty effing venues are taking 20% of it from the bands playing tonight. It's like we're not making any effing money anyway. You'd think venues doing that could afford some good effing air conditioning, but apparently not. Oh boy. I mean, he's not wrong. Not wrong at all. Oh, the Bad Omens guy went on to tweet more. He says, when you pay more in merch percentage than your guarantee, which is the guarantee that they say you're going to make, then you played for free. That is a fair point, man. Like, I mean, I knew it was messed up, but I didn't know that happened enough that it was worth mentioning to the public. So what he's saying is you're guaranteed... when you breach a financial agreement with the venue, like they are, they give you a guarantee. You're guaranteed $1,500, let's say, for the night of work. That guarantee, and once the door sales have hit a certain point, then you start to make a percentage of the door, right? So they have to be able to cover their guarantee to you. And then if they make anything more than your guarantee, that's where the ticket split comes in. Like I said, it can get pretty convoluted and complex. But so if you sold, I'm not going to do the math right now, but if you've sold enough merch that 20% would equal more than $1,500, then effectively the venue doesn't have to pay you your guarantee. You have to pay them for playing there. If that, again, assuming you don't meet the certain number at the door and blah 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 blah. So wow, I really didn't think about that there is theoretically a way that a band at that level could play at a venue for free because of the merch cut. That sucks. That is so garbage. So I've always been a big advocate for spending money on the band at the show. And I still am. I'm not going to tell you to not buy a tour shirt because I think that is a good way to get money directly into the hands of the band. But just as viable, and because there's different percentages taken off of it this way too, but just as viable is buying it directly from the band's website. I when I was younger and I didn't understand the nature of this business, when I was still, kind of coming up and learning things, I always bought the bootleg shirts outside, either before the show or after the show, because they're cheaper, man. A shirt inside's $50, a shirt outside's $20. I'm going to get the $20 because I'm a poor kid. But realize that none of that money, none of that $20 goes to the band. So at least if you buy the $50 shirt in the venue, then the band's going to give the venue 20% and their record label 30%, so that's 50% off that $50. You're giving the band $25, whereas the $20 that you were spending before doesn't go to the band at all. So I don't know, it's just something to think about when you go see live music. If you really want to support that band, that is a great way to do it. Joe Duplantier isn't rushing back into the studio to make the next Gojira album. Yeah, because they just put out a great one. They can ride on that for a while, I would say. People are getting ripped off through a Metallica crypto scam. Oh boy, cryptocurrency is a scam. Stop buying into it. We're just gonna say that right now. Obluscarsis streams first single in 5 years. Ekus, Igor, Melt Banana, and Otto von Skirach announced 2023 North American tour. Archspire, Psychroptic, Benighted, and Ethos announced European tour. That's cool. Come on. Evanescence Fallen. Oh, yeah. I remember seeing this briefly as well. Congratulations to Evanescence. Their record Fallen is now over 10 million copies sold in the U.S. That's pretty huge. Ghosts, Mary on a Cross goes gold in the U.S. I think we might be to the Charlie Benante on Pantera's first show. I think I was metal meditating. Nice. Oh, yeah. Jesus Piece. Signs to Century Media, streams an offering to the night. We are doing a reaction video to that song. I just heard that they put out this record. Jesus Piece is a great hardcore band from Philly. Definitely going to be doing a reaction video to that. I have the Rammstein reaction video going up in a week or so, but the Metallica reaction video just went up, so go check that out once the stream is ended. Okay. Let's continue our touring conversation with the Devin Townsend piece that they referenced before. So, the article starts with, it's no secret that touring sucks pretty bad right now. Ticketmaster being investigated for royally screwing up ticketing. Costs are through the roof, and some venues didn't even make it through the pandemic. But how is that bad exactly? Or how bad is it exactly? Sorry. Very different words. Devin Townsend explained in an interview with Metalarium that he's setting up tours for 2023 and has no real way to keep them within cost, thanks to everything that's going on. Townsend also touches on the unfortunate reality of having to scale back show production, but still having to put on enough of an actual show that people don't walk away disappointed. So yeah, it's a little rough out there at the moment. Oh, yes. This is an industry that most people don't understand. They think that you become well-known, people start to know your name, they know the music that you put out, etc., and you're rich beyond their wildest dreams, and that's really not the case. Granted, I don't know that somebody at the level of Devin Townsend would be struggling to pay bills, so they definitely do live more comfortable than a fair amount of people, but that's not to say that they're rich. That's not to say that they can do whatever they want. That's none of that. They're working class Joes for the most part. It is, I mean, once you get up into the levels of, say, a Metallica or a Slipknot, it becomes a very different environment. And Devin Townsend, I think, is kind of towards the top top of the middle pile, but still working class by and large. So I wish I could get more interviews, because we talked about that with the Stitch interview. When I talked to Stitch from Mushroomhead, I did what I could to have him elaborate on how that works, because Mushroomhead is a band that very much struggles to pay the bills. They all have jobs when they're not actively on tour. They all have day jobs. Well, I don't know if they all do. I think Skinny might not have a day job, but Stitch does, and he's in 2 touring bands. So it's definitely an industry that a lot of people want to be in, but a lot of people don't understand just how much work it is. So continuing on with the article. It's gotten way worse. I don't think it's better at all, actually, because of the cost of touring now, with inflation, the cost of gasoline and diesel, plus over the course of the pandemic, we've lost a ton of really good venues. I'd say probably 50% of the workforce in touring has now left, because what's a guitar tech going to do for 2 years? You have to get a job, right? And so the ones that are remaining, not only are they already spoken for with other bands, but they're also twice as expensive. I saw this thing about the events ticketing giant Live Nation the other day. They're taking 30% of merch sales. See, like I said, so that's not the venue, that's not the label, that is the ticketing agency taking 30% of merch sales from some venues. The cost of airlines have gone up, so artists, the ability to make money on tour is almost completely gone now, at least on an artist on my level. Like I said, he's actually probably still able to make a little bit of money, but I don't think much. He's making most of his stuff off of streams, and hopefully he owns the master rights to his music so that those streams pay out well. But yeah, that's how most artists at that level make money anymore, is through streaming, which is weird because not that long ago is exactly the opposite. You didn't make much money from the actual recordings. Most of your money in the industry was made by touring. And since things are the way they are, that's reversed. That's a very strange time indeed. Excuse me. So, continuing, the quote continues. So, yes, it's opened up again, but it's 10 times as expensive. It's like, what do you do? What do you do? Even the little things like, okay, the hotels are more expensive. The food of the hotel is more expensive. So, at the end of it, you're touring for what? You're ultimately touring so you can present your work to the people who care about your work. And that's worth it to me. But I think for anybody to think that it's now easy again, you should investigate that, because I'm trying to set up tours for next year, and there's no way to keep them within cost. No way. Continuing on, and you go out there and like, well, can't have this vehicle, we can't have this backline, we can't have this production, we can't have these lights. And then if you show up at the place and the audience comes, they're like, this show's no good, there's no lights, there's no production, so what should you do? And I think a lot of musicians, their decision is like, well, I'll just stay home and then I'll create from home. I try to go out with acoustic now because that way I can afford it. If I show up with an acoustic guitar and sing for people, it's better than nothing, but it's still like, man, it's complicated time, brother. People who talk like that kind of bug me, but whatever. I like Devin Townsend. I guess the one alternative to all this, aside from touring acoustically, are live streams, but even those have tons of costs associated with production, so who knows? Here's to hoping things calm down, because without touring, we're all in some pretty deep crap. That is true. So yeah, there's a pretty good music discussion. Let's check chat for a minute. Oh, go away. Can I boot? Remove. Remove. Stupid bots. All right. So I think that puts us in a good spot for ending. Yeah, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get any year-end content made. Calisdale Boys covered Deftones, My Own Summer. Oh, that would be really cool to do a reaction to as well. Sorry. I'm doing silly things. So, yeah. Do the buttons, push the things. Let's get... Okay, so appreciate you guys stopping by. Anyone who's watching in post, anyone who's still sitting in chat, lurking, just listening to the news, I appreciate you guys. Going forward, I I want to try and get something special done for possibly for the holiday, possibly for the end of the year. As it stands right now, I'm not sure that that's actually going to happen, just because I do still have a pretty big list of work to get done for the start of next season. And if I want to stay on schedule, then other things are going to have to take a backseat. I will try and get that done, though. I will try and get some edits over on the Clips channel, so that we can continue these conversations in a shorter, more precise form and not just my ramblings. Either way, I appreciate you, nerds. This is where we are going to be ending the stream. Thank you very much for stopping by. Let's do it again next week, shall we? I don't think there's going to be anything that gets in the way of that. All of that being said, thank you very much again. I appreciate your faces. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.